Welcome to the Therawake podcast. You are in the right place. I am your host, a qualified therapist, and I will have a number of guests coming to speak to me to share some gems of wisdom to give to you, the listeners. If you like what you see, remember to like, share, and subscribe so that the more people who subscribe to this podcast, then the more we will be able to have some guests in the studio. Remember to click on that notification bell at the bottom so each time a new episode is uploaded, you'll be notified of it. Welcome to another edition of the Therawake podcast, and we are excited to see Sir Tony Cealy is in the building today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and thanks for having me.
So we're here really to kind of celebrate the work, the tireless work that you do in the community. I mean, Tony, you have over 30 years experience working firsthand, learned experiences, working in the voluntary sector, community sectors. You're very humble, very, very humble in the breadth of work that you do. And how I came across you, we've known each other for probably about 14 years now. It's a long time.
It is a long time. It's been a good 14 years to be speaking with you over that time.
It really is. And I came across you with the Theatre of the Oppressed. I worked in a secondary school. And oh, you got some stuff going. Oh, we got someone in the background. Hello.
That's right. That's right. Yes, that's absolutely right. Yeah. And at that time, you were doing what? You were studying?
I wasn't. You actually was the inspiration. It was that workshop. So I was working in a school as a group development worker. And I met a drama therapist there.
Yeah.
At your because your training courses are very diverse, very out there, very creative, very free. So tell us how it all started for you. Anyway, how did you get into this love and passion of creative facilitation and theatre?
How it all started? Well, I kind of remember something around 1990. Could have been 1990, maybe 1991. I answered an advert that was put up at the Actors Centre, and a friend of mine who I'm still in touch with to this day, was looking for actors, and I think around that time I wanted to be an actor. I really wanted to be a performer, and I started auditioning for theatre plays in the early 90s, and I think I did a couple of years of trying to get work as a jobbing actor, but nothing really worked for me back then, because what would happen was I would get these lead roles in plays, and what I realized was that you had to sort of learn, huge chunks of text. Like if you had a Shakespeare role and you were playing the lead, you would have to learn all of this huge text within 3 weeks, and then go on stage and spit it out. And I got really stressed from trying to manage and cope and deal with learning lines and script analysis and all of that breakdown stuff that actors and directors and writers do. And I remember going to lots of auditions after being casted in the role and sitting around the table and having to break down the script. And because I had no qualifications, certainly, the basic ones, English, maths and stuff like that, I was unable to articulate and communicate a lot of what was being asked of me as an actor around the script. And I just remember being a really horrible time because I just felt inadequate. I didn't feel like, I was somebody that... Hello, can you still hear me?
I'm with you, yeah.
yeah, I just felt like I was somebody who didn't know this information, and it was a lot of pressure, put it that way. And I just didn't.
Tony, I tell you
I'm really
what,
sorry.
it's all right.
Yeah,
I don't think this is going to come out clear, only
yeah,
because of the reception and stuff. And I
yeah.
want to do it justice for you.
That's okay. I know. That's all right. Well, it is what it is.
We can have a little chat anyway, because when we do this again, when you are in a space where there isn't much noise, I wanted to kind of, how can we support all that you're doing with the Black men, all that you're doing in when you're traveling off to different countries and stuff? Like, where would you want to be? I mean, we can speak about your life and your history. I think that's brilliant. And in addition to that, what is needed at this time? What's on your heart?
I don't really have anything that's on my heart. I really do. I mean, every day, every week, every month, every 6 months, I've always kind of like just allow things to happen. I mean, I have. Don't get me wrong. I have planned for stuff. Planned projects and programs and stuff. But a lot of what I do, I just allow things. And I think I've always kind of been that way. I've really had the attitude of, oh well, I'll just see what happens. I haven't got any work planned for at the moment. I mean, I've got some work planned when I go back to England in February, but um, it's almost like I kind of think about tomorrow. I just kind of plan enough for tomorrow, and that's it. And the rest, I don't really know what's going to happen. And I've always been following my nose and following my lead and following wherever the work takes me. That's always been my agenda. Yeah, I mean, yeah, partly some of that is about, you've got to plan stuff and say, okay, you've got to plan some projects. But a lot of the time, I just think I just follow what feels right without really planning, and it just goes from there.
That's such an inspiration, even just to hear that, because like we're just in a world where people are just planning and thinking and stressed, and then the mental health and it's just like you're so chilled, like you're so like, yeah, let's just log on a podcast on the beach, let's see what happened. I've got work lined up, it just happens, like because of what you give. You give so much that it's almost like what you're receiving, you make it seem so effortless, but it can't just happen to anybody.
No, no. I mean, I've always said to people, if you're in anything that you love and got a passion for, you will go far in it, because the passion and the love and the dedication that you have towards the thing that you love, that's going to take you on a journey, and you're going to go into dimensions of it that ideally, are wonderful, suitable, memorable for you because you love what you do. And that could be for anything. If you love something so much and you're passionate about it, and you know, you're a bit of a geek around it, that energy is always going to take people somewhere. And for me, I'm in love with the arts and all
I know.
this stuff. So that's why it's taken me on journeys, because I just love it. You know, that's what I do. And within it, you're right. I do find time for self. Definitely in the mornings, more and more. I'm actually increasing my. It's funny being here in Spain over the last month or so. My running has increased in the morning. So I usually just do 3 miles in London every morning. But
Every morning, Tony.
yeah, but I've doubled it here because of the sun, running along the beach, running along the sides of the palm trees. I've doubled it, so I've noticed that my time has gone up to 6 miles. This morning I clocked up 6 miles, and I'm like, bloody hell, what's going on with you, mate? So I do make time for myself in the mornings, And that's what I mean by just everyone does their own thing. But I like to go running every morning. And of an evening, I do like to take time to be with my family or just to just be at home. And I'm a big movie fan, so I do sit down in front of the TV and just, if anything, just zone out. But those two elements are crucial for who Tony Cealy is, because that's what makes me happy and makes me able to deal with all of the things that are going on in your life, because you've got this grounding of stability to then tackle the challenges. I don't have a chaotic lifestyle living at home. I don't, you know what I mean? Everything is kind of calm. So if you've got those kind of groundings, then you're able to then tackle the chaos that's outside of the house, or so to speak, or in the real world. But in your own home, you've got to make it that it's a peaceful place for you to come home to rest, recuperate. It gives you what you need, so you can go back out into the world and do the work that you wanting to do. So, yeah, having time for self is so important. We all know this, but everyone's got to carve out that time for themselves. Otherwise, you're just running from pillar to post, and there's no real rest and places for you to kind of take stock. And we need to do that every day. And so so I just have my mornings and my evenings. Usually I'm tucked up in bed it'll be rare if I'm awake after 10:30. Usually I'm tucked up in bed between 9:30 and 10.
You're giving us your secrets, Tony. So you run for 3 miles in the morning, but now it's doubled to 6 because you're in Spain, so you're getting that vitamin D. And then everything's quite peaceful and chilled and carefree at home. You'll watch a couple of movies because you're a bit of a movie buff. And 9:30, 10 o'clock, lights out.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to getting up at 6 in the morning, starting my day,
Yeah. But what I get a sense of, Tony, is that your mind is calm. And because you're going out, the creative work that you do, you fight injustice. You're working with a group of Black men around talking about themes around mental health. You're kind of doing a lot of breaking barriers and oppressed systems and working through the creativity and listening to what people are bringing to you, which is stress. But you're calm, and that calm marries quite well with people that are coming to you stressed. Do you find that people are coming to your consortiums in a very stressed state? Or lots going on for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's always something that I've noticed in any kind of workshop that I've run. You get people who come to workshops because they're in some state of, whether it's, joy at one end to totally stressed and breaking down at the other end. People always will be in a particular state of mind. That's what I understand about humans, and then that whole group dynamics. But it's about creating the right conditions for that transformation to take place. So when people enter that space, they enter into that space as they are, in whatever state they are. But when they are in that space, there's activities, or there's an atmosphere for them to soak up, which, if they choose to, can transform them out of that state that they're in into another state. But they have to choose that. And what I try to do always is, if there's one thing that I do in all of my sessions, which is the key, it's always to play games. When you see
games.
It's always to play games, because when you see those big old grew up men, them, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Oh, yeah.
When you see them rolling around the room and laughing, and they say, "Oh, I haven't done this since I was a child," that's the healing right there. That's the medicine right there. You don't have to buy nothing. You don't have to go and prescribe anything. You just play, particularly play with other people. And if you're having a good time, that's the healing right there. That's the medicine. It helps to soak
getting a few interruptions, but it's fine. You know, the power of play and
So
being actually
all of the playing helps to kind of soak up some of the wounds that they walk in the door with. So for me, the number one thing that I've got to do in the sessions, workshops, projects that I do is get the group to play. We've got to play. We've got to start laughing and laugh at each other, and you know that's where it starts for me. You know.
Yeah. And the thing is, with your workshops, it's universal. So sometimes even language is taken out of it because you've done workshops in different countries, and I'm like, do you know? Are you bilingual, or is it the power of the creativity, the games, the laughter, just
exactly.
the
Exactly, it is. It's that that takes us on those kind of journeys and enables people to kind of express themselves without having to worry about words and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, for me, play is so important. Yeah.
Thank you. So we caught some gems in here anyway, which is great. But if you were to normally when I have guests on, I ask them to throw like a gem to the Therawake listeners, like a gem of wisdom. So if you were you've given many gems today, but if you were going to close with a particular gem, what would you want to throw on our listeners today?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just take time for self. Yeah, take some time to do the things that bring you joy. We've got to do that. And if we don't get in touch with the things that bring us joy, we lose, who we are, what our desires are. We lose a sense of, we've just got to get in touch with the things that bring us joy. We really do. And we have to make time and carve out time. And sometimes we don't have that time. Sometimes the time is just not available. You've got to do this, you're rushing this, you go. But even if it's 20 minutes, even if it's half an hour, we've just got to make that time for self. You really have to. And the less we marginalize that, the worse it gets. But yeah, I would just say, make time for yourself, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Take time out to do the things that you love. It's so important.
So important. Thank you. The things that we love and the things that bring us joy. So Tony, I'm not going to take you away from the beach much longer because clearly I can't get on it. So I appreciate you taking time out to just throw some gems. And it's been a joy seeing you, speaking to you, seeing you live your life as well and resting and recuperating. And I'm excited to see what's happening next. And I really do want to come and see one of the performances with the lads.
Yes, with the lads. It's funny, because I think because that work has taken such a highlight out of all the other things that I do. I'm like, well, hang on a minute, that's just not the only thing I do. I've got these other things going on, but I don't know. It just seems like people just love the men's stuff more than anything, or they know me for that more than anything, or they relate to that stuff more than anything else that I do. But that's just probably the way it is, and I'm happy with it. I'm just always kind of like, well, hang on, but you don't know about this, you don't know about that, talk about the other thing, the other roads.
True.
But anyway, it is what it is.
But it gets attention. It gets people saying, who is this guy? And then we get to Tony and then we can see, there's so much more to what you do. And I think the reason why there's such an emphasis on this is because you're getting Black men, and there's so much stereotypes around Black men and them being hard to reach and that kind of thing. When you can get a group of Black men together, form a consortium, and they're playing, and it's a safe place for their inner child to just play, to act, be superheroes, to be vulnerable, to hug, to hold, to cry, to be intersectional, all of that in one space in Brixton.
Yeah, no, I see that.
I know it's nothing to you, but listen, it doesn't happen.
Okay, well, no, you're right. But for someone like me, it's like, well, this has been happening from way back in the 90s. I used to run boys to men programs, 16 to 19-year-olds, Black men doing stuff around sexual health or offending behaviour. And it was a similar kind of program, just bringing these boys and young men together to talk about what's going on in their lives. Same kind of medicine that we were using, but just a different time, a different space, and a different kind of generation of young men. But yeah, we've got to work with as many people as we can. Everyone has a sort of specialism, I suppose. I'm getting asked to do much more for women. And when I'm setting up a women's group and all of this stuff, I would love to. I'd be absolutely excited to do that with somebody. Couldn't do it by myself. But yeah, and there's a balance, isn't there? And there's the kind of, people are saying, "Oh, why is it just men?" Get a lot of angry people argue with me all the time. Why are you just doing it for men? And I don't even bother answer. I don't. I just let
There's always conflict, though, isn't it? It's the humanness.
Yeah. Well, I just let the chat or the Facebook page or the whatever it is platform. People will argue after, because I don't say nothing. There's people, advocates, who just say, "What do you mean? Why is it for men? Can't you see that men need their own space?" And so I just let them have that kind of argument online, because I don't really get involved in it. It's just, I've got bigger fish to fry. So
we need your peace. That's what we need. We need your peace in the world. We need more souls like you to bring that peace. There's just too much conflict. People are in conflict with themselves,
Yeah, absolutely. But Judy, this goes two ways. This goes two ways for me. I would absolutely love to do the same that you're doing to me right now, because you're a person who has gone on a journey over the years, over the couple of decades. And I would like to just kind of, sit down and reason with you and find out how it's gone, because I'll be able to learn so much from you, because you've gone into this professionalism of what we call drama therapy, and you've within it, you've made something unique for yourself, and you are now in your own business, and that ain't no easy thing, to be able to kind of keep that business alive and afloat, and the inspiration and the challenges, and you got married and all that kind of stuff. I still haven't caught up with you around that, so that's what me want in the future going forward.
I need to come down to Brixton. That's what I need to do. No, definitely. I will definitely take you up on that offer. And I'm thankful. Thank you for your flowers. We have to give flowers while we're here. So I really received that. And I'm just very honored to know somebody like you. And thank you for always cheerleading. And anyway, go and take some sun. Why are we still here sending each other love messages? Go and do what you need to do, and enjoy, rest well, and safe travels back next month.
Okay, well, you look after yourself and keep doing what you're doing, and definitely looking forward to seeing you definitely this year. Feels like a really great opportunity.
Thank you. Lots of love to you and your family. Safe travels, and to the Therawake listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, bye for now.